Oh, you caught me. I was just writing down ideas for my next set of videos. But today I wanted to address the question that I get the most often, probably most photographers get the most often, which is what kind of camera do you shoot with and which lenses do you use? So let's get into that right now. Hey there, fellow aspiring creators. Welcome back to the video. Welcome back to the channel. I am still Josh from joshuapelts.com, and today we're talking about what camera I use to get the images that I'm able to get. So full disclosure, I am a Canon shooter. I have been a Canon shooter since I picked up my first entry-level DSLR way back in 2008. It was a Canon Rebel XTI, and that really jump-started my love of photography as an art and as a creative expression. But I am a Canon shooter. That's not to say there aren't great offerings from Sony and Nikon, Fuji, and just a number of others. To include today's smartphones all take amazing photos. But I started with Canon. I love their color science. I love their image quality. Their lens selection is phenomenal. And that's just how I've built, is along the Canon ecosystem. So today I'm shooting on the Canon R5 coupled with the RF 28-70 f2 lens, which is a beast of a lens. Now, we're not going to go into specs too much on the Canon R5. Everybody knows 45 megapixels, 8K video, 4K 120, shoots in a variety of video modes. In my opinion, for my workflow, it has been the best hybrid shooting camera that I can possibly imagine conceiving. I am super excited for the next iteration of what Canon is going to bring out, the R5 Mark II, the R1. Really excited for the R1 Canon. But that's what I'm shooting on right now, is the Canon R5. And the 28-70 lens. Now that 28-70 is that perfect focal length to be your walk around lens. This lens lives on my camera. Every time I put it in my bag, that's the lens that's on it. Because I know no matter what the shoot is, I can show up, pull that out with that lens and just start snapping amazing images. The super wide aperture of f2 really blurs out the background. You can see in this image right now, I'm very crisp, very clear. My background is smooth like butter, and I absolutely adore this lens. It lives on my camera all the time until I need something else. Now, when I need something else, probably the second most often used lens in my repertoire is this guy, the Canon 70-200 f2.8 image stabilized lens. Again, phenomenally useful focal range, that 70-200. 70 is pretty wide. You can still get some great shots of broad areas with the 70 millimeters, but then at events and things like that, I can really punch in with that 200 millimeter zoom and get the facial expressions on a father at a father-daughter dance, or right up on somebody who's giving a speech and capturing that emotion that they're trying to convey to their crowd. I use this constantly. It also works great for portraits because it covers that 85 millimeter portrait range and still gives you, with that 2.8 aperture, a super blurry background. So this is probably my second most used lens, just for its sheer versatility. Now, every manufacturer makes a version of a 70-200 f2.8, and if you scan YouTube, you will find a number of creators call this the magic lens, the magic focal length, and they're absolutely right. The images, if you're a professional photographer and do not yet own a 70-200 f2.8, this should be definitely a serious consideration for the next lens you invest in. Now, a lot of my work involves portraits and portraiture, so the other lens I want to talk about today, I have several more, but the one I want to talk about today is this guy. Now, it's covered in that 70-200 range, but the 85 millimeter focal length for portraits of individuals or couples, there's just nothing like that 85 millimeter focal range. And there are a huge number of 85 millimeter offerings out there. Prior to this, I had the Canon EF 1.8 85 millimeter, which that was what the lens I credit the most with jump starting my career. I got incredible images with that. Again, portraits it's great for, so weddings, events, food photography, product photography, B-roll video. The 85 millimeter focal length is magic. I decided to upgrade to this guy because I had the opportunity, and this is the Canon RF 85 millimeter 1.2. The 1.2 aperture is even wider than the 1.8. And so the image quality is incredible, and it really provides an incredible detail, incredible level of focus. and then blurs out everything in front and behind that subject so that you get the most incredible, creamy, smooth bokeh out of this image. The fact that it is a Canon L series means you are getting very little chromatic aberration, the image is clean, the colors are beautiful and crisp, and this, from an artistic standpoint, not necessarily utility, I use this a lot, but from an artistic standpoint, this is probably my favorite lens in the kit because I love those creamy foregrounds and backgrounds and then a nice, crisp, sharp, in-focus subject. But those are the two lenses, or the three lenses really, that I use the most in my photography. I have several more lenses that we will review as well later on, but that's what we're covering for today. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one.